Good morning. I'm Amanda Hardy, the Henderson County Family and Consumer Science Extension Agent, and I'm here today with Miss Marilyn Watson, who is our Henderson County Homemaker and serves as our international chair at our state level. And she is here today to talk about pin weaving and go through the steps of pin weaving using ribbon. So I'm going to let Marilyn step in and show you all how it's done.
Okay, this is really a very simple project that you'd like to do, and if we want to go through like supplies that you would need, you're going to need a cardboard form, so you could go get any kind of, you want it to be double corrugated, cut you a piece of cardboard. If you want to keep a board for a long time and make several projects like on it, you can put 2 to 3 of them together and cover it with some real sturdy material like duck cloth or something like that, and that's what has been done. Like on this one, it's like, and made it like a sleeve, stuck your cardboard in it and stuck the top part in or whatever. And those really make nice if you're going to keep continuing to do it. You're going to need you some sheer fusible web material, and you can get that in different colors. I think with ribbons, probably most of the time that you're going to have some whites and different things, you're probably going to want to use the white. You can buy the type that is used to make for t-shirt quilts. It's a material that's on one side. That way, whenever you would make your ornament, that you could make it also as a gift tag, and you could write on the back with a pen or whatever and give it that way, or you could write your date or whatever that was on it with that way. You're going to need some glass head pins, and the reason I said glass head is because we're going to iron, and if you just have those plastic kind, your iron hits it and then they're gone. So the glass head pins that you're going to need, probably I would have at least 50. And then you've got your pattern of your choice. We're going to be doing Christmas ornaments. And with those, you can print different kinds of ornaments. If you've got a computer, go to your web page and you can look up like crayon coloring, or you can hit coloring books and things like that. And you can actually print off and then cut your patterns from that. And I used a wooden skewer that's going to help us with our weaving, and find that in grocery store, usually as you make skewers for food and things like that. And we got parchment baking paper. That's going to be our iron over, because some ribbons could melt, the fancy ones or whatever, so when you go to press, so that will adhere to that you're going to first do it on your parchment paper. And some scissors and some either tacky glue or glue gun. I found out that a glue gun works best, to use it. And of course you're going to have your iron and an ironing mat and maybe a pressing cloth. But so to get started with it, we would take, and you've got your ribbons, and here's one that I've already completely started and done, but you're going to take the main primary color that you would like, and you have to experiment with it to get where you would really know exactly your pattern, maybe that you might want to change it. As you can see here, I use the same ribbons going across, but I changed the ones going down, which is your weft and your warp that you want to do. And you're going to start on and to make an ornament, you kind of got to measure what your pattern is. I forgot to mention that. But most of the time, you cut your ribbons, if you're cutting your ribbons like 6 inches, you'll have enough room to make something that direction. You want to cut them maybe 6, 7 inches long. So then you put your warp threads down, and then as we're going to weft, that means like we're going to weave them or whatever, and that's when we're going to go across. And it's always just a simple over, under. Then you go, and then it's the opposite, and you can see how it would really change what your pattern would be. Here we've got a big blue and a light silvery white. Here we've got a little green and a darker green with this, and it just goes down with that. But it's really simple to do. Let me find just a piece of a ribbon here. I should have had this. And I can show you something that would be that will weave real quick, maybe across Here, I can do a blue, well, we'll just do it at the bottom and show you how that it goes with it. But you take your ribbon and start on this side, and it's like this last one is like over, so then the next one is going to go under. And you don't want to make your ribbons too taut whenever you put your pins in, because you want to have room to be able to lift that up and put that under. Another thing that might be better, or you might like better, is just a safety pin, a big safety pin, and where you can put your ribbon on that. I'm keeping this and start me off here. And when you start your project, it's usually easier to start it in the middle and then scoot your work up to pull it all up until you get down, and then come and do back. It's just easier to do it. And you can see right there, I just made a mistake. I went under that one and that one. So when you get all the way through that, you want to look at your work and make sure that you have done your weaving correctly. I may have pulled these tight ends. I know I was done with them.
So Marilyn, you're basically going over and under on those ribbons.
Correct.
And you're using kind of like a skewer, maybe? Like a barbecue skewer?
Just skewer, right, that you can get like in your grocery store or any of your big box stores. It's just a bamboo like this one is.
And that just helps pull it through.
Mm-hmm.
Or kind of
Use your
weave it in.
point, yeah, to get that to go. There we go, to go under. And then when you've got that, I pulled that one too far, through there, and you move it up, like I say, move it up to your work that way. If you want to start in the middle, and then you would take your pin and you would tighten it this way so it wouldn't pull through anymore once you get it in the position where you want it to be. You would pin that down. So then when you've got it big enough that you want it to be that your pattern would fit on there.
Will you hold that up? Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, and you've got it to where your pattern would fit on there, so that you can see that you've woven enough that direction, so then you know that you could go to the ironing board. And then when you do your ironing board, you're going to put your parchment paper and you can get that at the grocery store. It's in the baking section. And put that on there, and you will take an iron and just, when we say press, you're just going to hold it on there long enough that it would just slightly heat that, and that would stick to the interfacing on it. And then you can pull all your pins out and then actually iron it with a pressing cloth, and you could turn it over. You'll want to go by what your rules say that's on your interfacing. Most all the time they may tell you not to use steam. Some of them say to use steam, so you're going to want to check and make sure that before you really get into that. So then once you've got it all positioned and it's adhered to the interfacing, then you're going to trace your pattern on there. You can either trace it with like a marker, or you can pin it in position and cut around it, which is very easy to do. I think that might be easier. I tried marking one with a marker and I liked it better just to pin it and then to do it that way.
And once you take the pins out, it's not going to unravel. It's going to stay put because you've ironed it with the interfacing.
Correct. And then this is one that's where I can show you that this is what we cut out, that this is the pieces that was left, and you can see how it adhered, and it's not raveling any this way, that it was on a piece of just lightweight interfacing on this one. But it was done. So I can just put the two back here to where I had this, and you can actually see that this one I turned this direction when I did the long ways. This one I did it where I can do two at a time. Well, the pattern that I picked, I'm going to do one as an ornament, and this one is a tree because my ribbon has lights in it. This one I had pine cones and things and thought, well, that would be a tree. And when I got to seeing how much I had left over, then I switched with my ribbons going on the left side so I could do a fancier color, and then that's where I came up with an ornament. But I still maintained my same green, and you can see how it changed the looks totally whenever you change the directions of your weave and what you have. So that's the way it is when I cut out. So this is the pieces that I had left. So then when you've cut it out and got it that way, then you can take some ribbon and you can either tacky glue it or you can hot glue it. I think hot gluing is easier, and I got some cording that you can get in craft ribbon area, and it's got different colors. This one has got of a satin cord like, and it's for the and that I use for the green tree to go around. And you just start in one spot. This one here, I started here and went around my tree all the way and just kind of hot glued it as we went along. Tacky I don't think sticks as long, and you'd probably have to put it down and pin it and let it kind of glue this way. And then I just took a piece of my leftover ribbon and attached it to the back for a hanger. And a piece of another ribbon that I had that was burlap, and I covered the bottom of the trunk to make it look like a trunk that way instead of just having it with the weave. And this one we did with the gold cord, and there's a piece of string from the hot glue yet, and went around with it, and it is on, it's still on the lightweight fusible too, that I use on both of them. And they're pretty sturdy. That way, if you wanted to, you could put felt on the back of them maybe, and you could like maybe do a blanket stitch, whip stitch or something on the sides if you wanted to, rather than to try to glue but I think they're pretty this way, and they're lightweight, and they would make great name tags if you wanted to for Christmas presents, and then they'd have an ornament to give away for when theirs is. The other pin weaving that is the state project for the year under cultural arts is pin weaving, and this is the ribbon, and I can show you one that we've started with, is with different yarns that I attended a learning session with it, and you just use all different kinds of yarns. And if you have a good friend that is a crocheter or a knitter, or you've had different projects, I don't know if you're like me, I'm kind of a hoarder when it comes to craft projects, and you just put those together, and this creates a piece of fabric, and you can make whatever you want, or you could create it just strictly to make it a piece of art, and you could hang it on your wall or whatever. So that's another idea for pin weaving.
Looks great, Marilyn. I will say I took your class not too long ago and made my ornament, and let me just say, if I can do it, just about anybody can do it. It turned out really fun. It was a fun class, and I learned how to pin weave. So if you need more information, we can definitely get you some more information, and we will have the samples available for you all to look at and see. So if you have any questions, contact your extension service. Again, thank you, Marilyn, for showing us today how to do the pin weaving by using ribbon. And like I said, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to give us a call. Thank you.